Alright, guys, today I'm going to show you how to make eyeball cake balls. And with Halloween right around the corner, you're probably going to want to go to a Halloween party or you're going to want to throw one yourself. And this is an easy way to get people in the holiday spirit, make your dessert table festive, and it's an easy, fun thing for kids or adults, or even reluctant guests that show up and aren't quite there in the holiday spirit. This is a great thing to have on the table, and it's really fun. So the first thing I'm going to show you are the tools and ingredients that you're going to need to create these cake balls. The second thing, I'm going to show you how to combine them, form them, shape them, and ice them. And the last thing I'm going to do is show you how to decorate the eyeballs themselves and then display them to get a really good effect for your dessert table. So before we begin, I've got to show you the exact tools that you're going to need and some tips that will help you be successful, because they can be finicky at times. So first of all, the ingredients that you're going to need is a 13 by 9 baked cake. Any cake you want, any flavor is fine, or any cake mix, or you can make your own if you so choose. You also need 1 container of icing. You can go buy a store-bought icing, or you can make your own, either way. And the last ingredient you'll need are Wilton candy melts, and you'll need this in white, red, and black. And the reason I suggest Wilton is because they melt a little bit better and their consistency is better whenever they're drying on the balls themselves. If you're using a light colored cake, this is really important. This is your vanillas, strawberries, anything that's going to be lighter than the brown crust that's going to be baked around the cake. Then you'll want to trim off that brown crust, because it's going to distort the color of the cake balls when you go to mix it. But if you're using a chocolate cake or a spice cake or anything like that, this isn't necessary because it isn't going to affect the coloring. Whenever you do these, you're going to have some specific tools, and the most important thing you're going to need is a food processor. The second thing is going to be a cookie sheet. You'll also need a chocolate melting bowl. You can have one that's heated specifically for like chocolate fondue, or you can just have a regular bowl that you heat in the microwave. Either one will work. You'll also need the little mini hors d'oeuvre forks. These are little metal ones, and you can find them in the aisle where you find straws, toothpicks, and things like that. You'll also need a foam block. A floral block is fine, or you can just use a styrofoam block, either one, as long as it's steady and you can stick these forks in there for drying. You'll need cake decorating bags, or a simple Ziploc bag will do. Those are fine. And you'll need a spoon and a fork to stir your chocolates and the icing. And then another thing is a festive serving platter. You can serve it on any serving platter that you want, but I think it's a lot more fun if you put it on something creepy and put it on a displayed dessert table. So second, I'm going to show you now how to bake the cake balls, now that we have all of our tools and ingredients. So to form it, you're going to break the cake up. That trimmed cake, if it's a lighter cake, it doesn't have to be if it's a darker one. Break it up, stick it in your food processor, and you're going to process it until the cake's evenly separated. It really doesn't take too much, and be careful not to over-process your cake, just until it looks like it does in the picture there. Then you're going to take 3 spoonfuls of your icing, drop it all right on top of your cake in the food processor, and you're going to quickly blend it, and it's going to turn into this moldable consistency. It's going to start to bind together, and once it does that, that's when it's ready. Don't blend it any further than that. Okay, so once you have done that, you can begin forming your balls. Just pinch some off, roll them up. Make sure they're not too smooth. You want it to be a little messy, because remember, we're doing eyeballs. And if you're going to eat an eyeball on a fork, you want it to be a little messy. It adds to the creepy effect. So make sure they're kind of a little chunky and not quite smooth. So once you form those balls, just place them on a cookie sheet, because you're going to take that cookie sheet, stick it directly in the refrigerator. You're going to refrigerate these cake balls until they're firm and slightly dry to the touch. It's going to take approximately 3 hours. Some moist cakes will take a little longer. Some drier cakes take a little less. Just make sure you can touch them and they're a little dry. It helps them be able to dip in the chocolates a little bit easier. While you're waiting, You can melt the white candy melts in the chocolate bowl. Go ahead and get those ready because that's the first one we're going to use for dipping. And now we can start the dipping process. What you're going to do for this process is you're going to take those little mini forks and you're going to insert it into the base of the cake bowl. And see how I only went down a little bit, like halfway? You want to go down and leave a little bit of the fork because you want to kind of see the bottom of the cake ball or the icing kind of drip around the fork. And then you're going to dip the ball into the white candy, stir it around a little bit, lift it up, lightly tap off the excess, and then you're going to take that fork and you're going to put it into the end, into that foam block that you have. And you're going to let the chocolate dry. But as you can see, it's kind of a little bit messy, and you kind of want that effect for sure. So you're going to let these dry until you can touch them. So you're going to allow the white pudding to dry to the touch. You want it to be kind of hard. And then once, while you're waiting on this to dry, you can melt the red and the black candy melts. And what you'll do is put them in the decorating bags or your Ziploc bags, whatever you're going to do. Just get them slightly warmed until, not too hot, but warm to where you can melt the candy and cut a hole into the corner of the Ziploc or the decorating bag so you can squeeze the candy through. Okay, now we can start making our eyeballs. Once they're dry, you can squeeze the black icing onto the eyeball to create the pupil. And you want to do the pupils all at once because the candy tends to melt kind of quickly. So squeeze each pupil on, and then once you finish all the pupils, you can grab your red candy bag, make sure it's not too hot, but melted enough to draw on your bloody veins. And you want to just squeeze it messily onto the eyeball. Right. And you can see how they kind of go on a little bit messy. But you want to have at least 6 red veins around each eyeball. And then you'll want to let those dry to the touch as well. And once they're dry, you can show them off. And you can arrange it on your platter and display them in any way. Like I said, I like a creepy one. I have one with skeleton hands. I think it adds to the effect. And as you can see, the white icing is kind of drizzled around the fork, so it looks like you actually are eating an eyeball off of a fork. So now that you know how to make these, you can try it out for yourself. Even a beginner baker can look like a professional whenever they make something like this. It doesn't require a lot of smoothing or technique. You can just put them messily on the plate, and as you can see, it really sets off a dessert table. So go ahead and try it, and then you can see if you are creeped out by eating an eyeball off of a metal fork. And I'm sure your guests will enjoy it too. All right, thank you.